Crossfire.
From your number one talk news and sports station. This is the Morning Crossfire
With Femi D Live.
Thanks for keeping up with us right here on Nigeria Info 95.1. You're listening to Morning Crossfire right here with Femi D Live. Interesting times. The outcome of the elections are done, and there are many areas of the outcome that are just beyond the numbers. I would say. Some say there are indicators that say, so, well, with this kind of result, there was transparency. Some others say, no, it doesn't prove transparency. It otherwise proves manipulation. Now, let me give you an instance. I'll try to put up as many scenarios for you to understand before we go down into analyzing for today. One of those instances was what the Senate President, Ahmed Lawan, is still the Senate President, by the way, for those who don't know, gets his time to come back to the 10th Senate, coming up soon from June. He had responded during a plenary and described what he understands as the Electoral Act in this light. He said, in the Electoral Act that we passed, there's nothing like the electronic transmission. What we have passed is to transfer all the paperwork that we normally do while the agents and everybody there have the papers. INEC will now scan or snap the result sheets and transfer them. We urge INEC to follow the Electoral Act and other laws on their guidelines. In this chamber, we're not going to interpret the Electoral Act. This is not a court of law. We are just to guide this debate and talk about the general principles of how this election and declaration should be done. There's no need to stress ourselves. What we are doing is to urge INEC to follow the law, and the citizens should be calm. Well, this was his sense around the Electoral Act and the ideas he pretty much thought about along the lines of this. But the vice presidential candidate of Labour Party in this election that just went by, Dati Ahmed, thinks otherwise. In fact, he describes that response as irresponsible. Take a listen to a set of response to questions he was asked about the 2023 general elections. Here we go. Ahmed Dati.
This is Morning Crossfire.
Announcement of the purported result of the presidential election held on 25th February 2023. First, let me sincerely thank all Nigerians for their belief in us and for coming out en masse to vote for the Labour Party and for the cause they believe in, the birth of a new Nigeria. We're immensely grateful to the youth, obedience, and all support groups, including Nigerians in diaspora, for their sacrifices, conduct, and commitment to a better Nigeria. It is our position that the purported result did not meet the minimum criteria of a transparent, free, and fair election. In addition to the most condemnable of attacks, violence, voter intimidation, and suppression, the election was conducted in clear violation of agreed and promised INEC rules and guidelines, the Electoral Act 2002 as amended, and indeed the Nigerian Constitution. As evident, the institutions of the state and leaders that were supposed to ensure the sanctity of the election, again, and as in the past, collaborated and colluded to subvert the will of the good people of Nigeria. Please be assured of our determination to fight the injustice that have been perpetrated on Nigerians through all legal and peaceful means.
This is Morning Crossfire.
A part of what Dati Ahmed said. Now, when did it come to the question and answer segment? He had some other ideas to express his opinion on. Take a listen to some.
here is an incoming government for the Federal Republic of Nigeria that is illegal and unconstitutional. As far as we're concerned, it is now we're submitting our case to the court of law. It is for them, irrespective of how much confidence the world or Africa or Nigerians have in them, irrespective, it is for them to show again that level of confidence.
Okay, anymore?
Yes.
Please, let somebody else.
All right. My name is Bitrus Koza from Voice of Nigeria. So Nigerians are worried against when you rejected this, when you rejected the outcome of this election. Will you support them going to protest against this result?
Did you listen to my statement? And what really is the motive behind posing this question yet over again? If I may read it again, just for the records, which we will submit to you. While he's opening it, no amount of questioning will ever get Peter Obi or myself or any agent of the Labour Party or Obedient whatsoever to ever preach anything besides peace and tranquility in Nigeria. We also ask Nigerians to continue to exercise their civic duties like we just did now with the upcoming elections. I have said that democracy belongs to the people who can practice it. Nigerians should continue to make efforts to practice democracy. The only language we know is peace. That's the only language. If Nigerians are going to achieve peace through peaceful protests, welcome.
Okay. Any more? Okay, second round.
Just very quick one. How is Mr. Peter Obi doing? In what state of mind is he right now?
He is better than one could ever imagine. He is cheerful, he is hearty, he is healthy, he is strong, and what is more, he and I are even believing more and more in Nigeria and the Nigerian people. Here we are. Our movement is less than 8 months old. And we won elections in the Federal Republic of Nigeria where they've had an 8-year concurrent government. As far as we are concerned, we won this. They refused to upload results. They refused to refer to IREF just for them to defeat us. It took a serving government, illegality and constitutional breach to defeat Peter Obi and my humble self. I tell you, we're winners.
This is Morning Crossfire.
Obviously, that's the position of the Labour Party as it stands now. They go to court. Until then, they describe unconstitutional the results and the process that is named thus far. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president-elect of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for the year 2023, based on the outcome of the elections. All right, well, that's something to drill down. And, of course, the PDP in itself as well, they've called for supporters not to be perturbed. However, they are interested in challenging the process as well in court, just to give them perspective and groundwork around this. But it's of interest as well to consider some of the moments from the election. Some argue that Labour Party did win in Lagos, but not just win in Lagos based on the results as announced by INEC, but that they did win with large margins. Those margins, they say, well, noticeable as it were higher than the ones announced. That's controversy in its right, but Lagos is the stronghold of the APC's presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the point in time. PDP won in Katsina State, that is the state of the sitting president. Analysis around this also brings to fore interesting point. The vice presidential candidate of the PDP, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, also did not clinch his party as expected. Now, there are places where Nasarawa State as well, Labour Party, FCT Labour Party, and then you think of the PDP winning some other states, and the APC also winning, surprisingly, in some other states like Imo State as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think they did win in Imo State. So, by all deductions, one would say there are springs of surprise, okay? The different springs of surprise in the election and how it was conducted. Some agree that, well, we like the spring of surprise. Some others dispute the spring of surprise, just based on what they find convenient at the different point in time. Do you think this election was disruptive in its own nature? Okay? Do you think the results announced so far is disruptive in its own nature? When I mean disruptive, I do not technically mean to go into say, oh, somebody was cheated or not cheated, but just looking at the pattern of the results generally, and I would love as much as possible if you're objective. I know it's a tough time to be objective, but it's a lot of emotions running through people. However, as you express yourself, I still count on the fact that all the rules and regulations that we set in place on our drawing for you to follow through. Be objective, be factual, no lies, no fake news, no hateful speech, no abuses, no causes at all. Analyze as you can. What was the surprise for you in this election? Yeah. What was your biggest surprise in this election in terms of the results of a state? Kano, for example, did bring out Kwankwaso as the candidate of their the majority of the choice of people from Kano was Kwankwaso. Was that surprise or it was expected? These are things to really consider on the surface. We're going to go into the technical analysis of the election numbers in days to come. But while the emotions are coming down, what was the biggest surprise for you and why? Do you agree or disagree? I'll be back after now.
New shows, new host, new realities. True
Nothing breaks the news like the news. Trust me, I can prove it. I do it every morning on Morning Crossfire from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nigeria Info 95.1, and I'm Femi D. Amede. Join the biggest conversation around the national politics every day in a way that is trustworthy, full of passion, and yes, covers the biggest politics and the stories that matter to you. See, you have all the reasons to find out what's going on in Nigeria and be engaged differently. Let's talk. That's the way to go, even this morning.
This is Nigeria Info. This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Yes, that was me saying, this was how we started off with the build up to the elections, okay? Let's get back now. It looks like what we'll be talking about for the month of March is the future of elections, okay? The future of elections in Nigeria, the future of now. What are we up to, okay? Let's get back to our conversation this very morning.
From your number one talk news and sports station. This is the Morning Crossfire
with Femi D Live.
Welcome back to the show this very morning as we continue to build up your point of view on this. Now, we understand there's a lot of emotions out there, but what I want to take a look on is the contrasting points, okay? The argumentative points. Some say, winning Lagos, winning this part or winning that part of the country was an indication that things are getting better, or to an extent, there's nobody that can truly say what would happen with regards to you winning. I mean, think about it. Even at the senatorial level, Banky W lost, Obanikoro lost. Now, for those who may not know, Obanikoro at some point was a minister in Nigeria. Obanikoro is highly celebrated in Lagos State. In fact, his family name is a bus stop in Lagos. It's a major bus stop in Lagos. But that was not enough for him to win. Banky W, well known, well celebrated, music executive and the likes of that, and even an actor, quite a known face. This should be his second attempt at running for office. Yet didn't clinch the ticket. A candidate of the Labour Party clinched the ticket in the zone where they contested in that light. And some say he was relatively unknown in that area, but irrespective of that, he did clinch the ticket. Think about Abuja as well, where in some parts you hear things like, Philip Aduda, 24 years as a senator, but he's not been able to retain his position. It's been argued now, who knows whether I will go to court, but Ireti of Labour Party, is believed to have stopped his time and period as a senator covering the FCT. So there were a lot of disruptions here and there. Disruptions, of course, open to interpretation. Some would say those disruptions were positive for them. Some would say it's not so positive for them. But those disruptions did happen. And I'd like you to help me identify some of those disruptions, the big ones, that you think, okay, let's do it this way. You tell me one positive disruption and one negative one. Let's make it a balanced one. So we're not getting from you all negative or all positive. One positive or one negative one. Disruptions in terms of what the numbers say from the election result announced, the official results announced. Whether disruptions, in terms of those results, official results announced, did confirm. Okay, one positive one, one negative one. What have you noticed? It's possible I might have missed out on something thus far, but have you seen it? Have you picked up on it? Did you notice anyone? Well, let's listen to you. Numbers remain 0700-951-0000. Okay? Now 0700-951-0000. You can also join in on 080-9597-4869. 080-9597-4869. And on WhatsApp, you can call in as well on 080-999-30137. Did you get it? That's 080-993-0137. I'm listening to you this very morning to get your viewpoints on this disruptions, okay? Positive and negative one that you have noticed from the 2023 officially announced results. Okay, good morning to you. Good morning, number two. Oh, looks like his line is disconnected. No wahala. Let's take on the next call from the telephone lines as well this very morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Dr. Femi Diamele.
Yes, how are you today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good. Yes, please.
Compared to 2015, the election under administration of Dr. Former President Belejon, if you compare the electoral integrity of the election with this present last one, which one is freer, fairest, and more credible? The element of transparency and accountability. Why the delay in this part of election result that is sent the whole country moody? Is this election process?
So can I bring you back to the question I asked you that you don't write off on your own disruptions from the official results? One good one, one bad one. Okay, looks like we'll have to give him some time to think about that and to clearly pick up on his own point on that. The official results, of course, are getting various inputs from different people saying, no, we like it, we don't like it. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Titi from Dawaki.
Victor or Victoria?
Okay. Titi.
Oh, Titi. Welcome. Welcome, madam.
Okay, for me, I think all disruptions were positive because it spells that Nigerians' voices are now being heard and no politician can take us for granted anymore. Look at what happened in Lagos State. I didn't expect it, you know. Although at the end of the day, I looked at the math and I wasn't too surprised because we know the different interests in Lagos State. So that was a positive disruption. Nasarawa, the PDP strongholds in the north, the APC strongholds in the north now have been divided. So these are all positive disruptions. No leader can come in and feel that, I don't have to talk to the masses. I don't need to go for a debate. I have my voting population. Nothing is going to happen to me. They all have to sit up. Look what's happening in Lagos State right now. Sanwo-Olu, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the most progressive governors in Nigeria. He's done a lot. But then he didn't go on the campaign trail. He was following Asiwaju up and down, not minding his own campaign. They invited him for debates. He refused to go. And now, with what has happened in Lagos, with the upset that has happened in Lagos, he's now running helter-skelter 2 weeks to his election. And I won't be surprised if he loses Lagos. I'll be pained, no doubt, because I think Lagos will suffer a setback. But it would all be his fault. So it is good that these disruptions are happening. And I don't see any disruption as a negative one. It is good for our democracy. That's my opinion.
Brilliant, Titi. Thank you so much. Thank you for your brilliant analysis. And she says it right. This is exactly how I feel as well. The governors who are due to run for a second time are really, oh dear, I won't say stories I don't want to say, but they're up and down more than ever before. Hey, Nigerians voted, and they voted disruptively. Well, at least so says the official results.
Good morning, World Club, Dr. Femi Diamele.
Yes, good morning to you.
Yeah, I remember humble self Abubakar Ali. I'm calling from PW Kubwa. Mr. Femi D, what that APC man said in Zamfara State is nothing but the truth. But I don't want to dwell on that at the moment. I want to use this opportunity to congratulate our president and vice president-elect. I want them to start hitting the ground now. Let us think of how to constitute their cabinet. Let their cabinet reflect the federal character. My president-elect has started on a good footing. The two speeches he released so far is assuring and reassuring that he's going to unite and unify the country. I want him to continue on that trajectory. Let his body language, let the word he speak, let him continue to extend that olive oil to the warring factions. Nigeria shall be great again. Nigeria first and Nigeria always. He should demonstrate that with his body language. He should demonstrate that with his action. He should demonstrate that through the words that come out of his mouth. Let every region get equal representation. He is now the president the president-elect of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, not the president of APC. Whether you vote for him, whether you do not vote for him, he must deliver the dividend of democracy for the benefit of all.
I understand
Nigerians
your progressive
and for all
thinking.
Nigerians.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Okay, I understand your progressive thinking. But then I want us to focus on some of the areas, because it's easy for those who feel, they've joyously clinched the ticket to move on. But let's make an attempt to look at the elections based on the official results so far. Do you feel there were disruptions? And those disruptions, do they say something about how we think about the elections even going forward? Will they have a say? I mean, think about Nasarawa State, for example. So Nasarawa State happens to be the state where the APC chairman, national chairman, is from, right? And when they were going to vote, they voted at the presidential level. They voted Labour Party. When they were going to pick out one of the senatorial positions, they picked out SDP. No, SDP. Yes. Shocking, right? They picked out SDP for the candidate there. And the margins were plenty, according to that result. All right, let's take more calls. Good morning to you. Good morning. Oh, boy. Okay, that's not staying true. Let's not stay true. Good morning to you. Welcome. Hello.
Hey, hello, good morning. Good morning. My name is Austin.
All right, Austin, welcome.
Yes. I just want to talk about the positive and maybe drawback as you mentioned. Number one positive is I like the maturity with which Nigerians have taken the outcome of the election.
Okay.
Because the country is not boiling, and it shows that we're a very diverse country, made up of many religions, many ethnic groups, many cultural groups, geographically diverse. So we have to be very cautious with the way we react to things. So Nigerians have reacted very well, and that is a good takeaway. But then the other one that is negative is the fact that we appear to have taken several steps backward with regard to the evolution of our electionary system. We started this process in this republic in 1999, and some people are talking about manual election or those ones. And of course, along the line, you have some politicians that had perpetrated rigging, had come out to confess and explain to Nigerians the technicalities of rigging. The rigging of elections are done at collection centers, ward and local government, where the state politicians go there, they speak to the collection officers, the agents, the security forces, the INEC officials, and then they change the results. So, and one of the counter reports to checkmate that was River and IRF, which was involved, that when the agents win, because mind you, have 176,884 agents are there about. There's no country that will know this by state. And the people that volunteer to serve as agents, people have their different motives. Some people come out to be agents because they want to make a key, they want to make money, that's through illegal ways. So in between the polling units and the collection centers, a lot can happen in some of the cases. So that is why they introduced this device, so that when you are collecting results, you have something to cross-check the result that the agents have got. So but this thing was removed. It was not at the local government collection center again, the next day it was not there. So there was nothing to use to cross-check what you are collecting. And that is what has eroded confidence. That is why some people are hesitant about, proving the outcome of this system. It's a very, very serious drawback on this election.
I do hear you.
The confidence of Nigerians, if this is not well tackled, the effects will trickle down in the politics. Even the workforce, the youth, of course, so many people are already trying to bust up their passports, but I'm begging them, they should stay back. Even if nothing is done, 4 years is not eternity. So that by that time, we will all insist. We have our Android phone, we have our iPhones, phones that can snap. If INEC has stated clearly that day, our system is not working, everybody in the polling station, snap the results, please. Snap the results quickly. We have emergency. People would have snapped the results at the polling unit. And then nobody can come out and say they're estimating results as well. I don't know whether these allegations are because there is a loophole created So why can't people believe? Because there was nothing to use to check. Even when they were announcing at the conference center, nobody could run back to the ward level, to the to the local government level collection. It's not done like that. I know some people that go to, like I said, go to regions that they want to buy car, they want to do house, they want to, and it happens.
Okay. All right. Let's leave it at that with you, my dear son. Yes. Thank you for sharing your viewpoints and experience with us on this. Good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Yes, good morning, Femi D.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
To connect you to, my name is Usang for God.
All right, Usang for God. Long time.
Yes, first positive for me, Femi D.
Yes, please.
Is the fact that I think I was fully involved in the election, and then I saw young people, I saw old people, I saw people in wheelchair came out, stood in the sun, defied the rain, and only to vote. First positive. And then second positive for me, like someone said earlier on, is that no one will sit down anywhere and beat his or her chest and think that the election will be a walkover. I'm very happy that some governors who finished 8 years and thought they would just stroll into the Senate didn't make it. It shows that the people's voice is speaking out. Finally, Femi D, let me just crack this, let you know what my daughter said about you before I end.
Oh, dear.
My daughter watched you on YouTube and said, "Oh, I thought he was a fair man." I said, "Why? Why do you think he was fair?" He said, "The way he speaks. I didn't know he was black." So this is Femi D. She's just 8 years.
Oh, dear. Say my love.
8 years, Femi D.
What's her name?
Deborah. Her name is Deborah Usang.
Oh, Deborah. Okay. She's in school already, or she's close to you?
She's in school. I will call you whenever she's around.
All right, please. I look forward to talking to Deborah. Okay. I'm very black. Oh, I see very black. I still eat. Yes, I still eat pounded. Yes, I still eat pounded yam and white soup, which is one of my favorite combinations.
Yeah, but your voice is white.
Okay. If they say so, we belong to everybody. Oh, there. Let me not say. Let me not bring a quote that will put me in trouble. Thank you for your.
That one don't pass.
Thank you. I'm so grateful. Thank you for making me laugh so hard. And hi to Deborah as well.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Femi D. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, let's keep over the next set of calls. Good morning to you. Glad you joined in.
Good morning, Femi Jamele.
Good morning to you.
This is Chinedu from Guarimpa.
All right, Chinedu. Welcome.
I like with Deborah because the way I see you on YouTube, I begin to imagine, is it the Femi D that had his voice? I'm sure.
It's money that is remaining. I've already started my packaging. It's just money that I'm waiting for.
That money will come.
Amen.
You have to compliment it because in every other aspect, in short, you are a great man.
Thank you, sir. I'm really honored.
You are conduct.
Thank you, sir.
In everything you do.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
I'm very, very glad.
Yes, sir.
I just like I said, I'm Chinedu from Guarimpa.
Good to meet you. Okay.
I want to say that almost everything that happened is positive. There's no much negative. Femi, do you believe that almost 7 sitting governors lost their seat?
Yes.
First time in history of democracy in Nigeria. We have never seen that. The city senators lost their seat. That's to show you that the people now want to take Nigeria in their hand. You understand me?
Yes, I do.
The positive out of it, just like that Nigeria speaks. If somebody tell me that Labour Party will win Lagos State, in my wildest dream, I will never believe that. But that comes to happen. When they look at what happened to Nasarawa State, that is the most shocking. The place that the APC chairman come from. They did not even vote by saying, yes, this is the party. They vote by people. They vote Labour Party in the presidential. They vote SDP in the almost 3 senatorial of 2 senatorial seats there. So indeed, look at what happened in Abuja. The senatorial candidate of Labour Party, unknown, happened. That is a tsunami. It's a tsunami in Nigeria, a network system. So you can't count 1 or 2. All of them is positive. The only place you are looking at the negative is that the promise they give to us, they will not fulfill it. That is the only negative I see on it. Because if I think that promise has come, by now, everybody has continued his life, whoever that wants. Where people are just in kind of saying that we don't grow this because we see. From there, I was once a polling agent. I know what happens when it did not transmit results electrically. No matter how brilliant you are, those politicians, they were smart. They are feeling that they could have transmitted. Once they do that, everything could have been negative. There could have not been one, or everything could have been positive. There could not be one negative. The only negative I see is that INES, they could raise up. All of us are happy.
All right.
What happened?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
4, 5, 6, 7 sitting governors, Femi lost their seat. In my wildest my dad, I couldn't believe in this generation that it can happen.
Let me make it more interesting for you. Do you realize that the three of the G5 governors that were pushing for senatorial seats, the three the governors were to become senators from the G5 of the PDP lost. They all lost it out.
That is what I'm telling you, Femi.
Yep.
My governor in Enugu State, lost.
Yeah.
Why? They lost.
Mm-hmm.
The governor of
Autumn, Benue.
The other one, from one northern state, they lost. Cross River lost. Again, they lost.
Yeah.
For 8 years after governor, and they lost.
Okay.
All those things positive. Those things shows us that no politician will just sit down now and tell us that they have a structure that maybe that structure that will save him. If they do not come to us, speak to us, tell us your program and the policies, knowing fully well that you will fail. If I can clarify what happened and they promise us that yes, a notorious transmission of result will come, you will see more tsunami, you will see more surprise, and you will see more positive.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
I really appreciate you and I adore you as a person. And in short, I'm praying to the day I will meet you one-on-one. It will be one of my greatest days.
I look forward to it as well. Thank you so much, for your kind words, sir. Thank you. Yes. All right. Well, interesting time. Let's read off some of the messages we do have around this. Femi, there are positives and just games. The number of people that came out to vote is my positive. The game that there is the fact that it was played to calm down every contestant and just increase the final result. In the presidential election, the three front men got same number of states, made Labour Party to win the APC states just to calm them down and make the citizens to believe that this election is fair. Just see how most of our conversations are going to praise them. That's exactly what they want. Let's watch and see. More revelations will come. This is Nigeria and INEC. Philip from Life Camp is of that opinion. Yes, another disruption was this is the first time we're having top 4 candidates in the last, from 1999 till date. We've never had a top 4 candidate. And there's a 5th result. Did you know that the ADC had up to 80,000 people? They came in 5th in the presidential race, despite the controversies that linger on along the lines of what they do. Maybe Kachuku and Ahmed Buhari did come in 5th in that race, The 4th, of course, was Kwankwaso with over 1 million. So you find the winner with 8 million, the second person with 6 million, the third person with 6 million, and just thousands separating what they have according to the official results, okay? All I'm quoting, and I've stayed on to quote, is the official results, and they all won 12 states, 12 states, 12 states, and 1 state. Isn't that surprising? Disruptions, who knows what we're building up if we keep at it in Nigeria. Casey Anthony from Cuba says, good morning from the 2023 election is really interesting. The distortions are lessons for our political elite. It's no longer business as usual. Lagos, Kano, and Abuja are examples. The reason is that Nigerians are hungry for a better leadership for this country. Philip Aduda has been a senator for FCT for over 20 years. Let's see the performance of another candidate. That's the message coming in there from Casey Anthony. FMD, the reason why unknown faces, especially in Labour Party, have voted in the National Assembly is because people wanted representatives and senators that will not be opposition to Obi if he wins. That was what some people fear for how Obi will rule with the opposition assembly. That may frustrate his leadership. Mrs. OG writing that in. Emeka from NPC Tower says, is election legit without using electoral laws during the process? Without this, it simply means that there's no election. We have president-elect. Then I asked how. With millions of Nigerian youths and in their thousands coming out en masse under the sun and rain to cast their votes. And after that, the same old stories from INEC. As for me, this election is not credible, free, and fair. It was decorated by intimidation, voter suppression, killing and bloodletting, manipulation, election results frying anyhow, seen in nearby bushes, inside the gutter, in schools and garages. Please, how were those results sent then? With this, is the election free and fair? Maker from NPC Towers, right, 13. Positive one, an election. This is coming in from Ebro from Lifecam. It says positive one, an election where El-Rufai could not deliver Kaduna State, Ganduje could not deliver Kano, Tinubu could not deliver Lagos, Buhari could not deliver Katsina, Lalong could not deliver Plateau, and also lost senatorial seats. Ben Ayade lost his state. Senator Unwayi also lost his state as well. And the same election is rigged, Abi. Ani Lokon. Okay, well, I'm not too sure I'm picking up on that well enough. But different messages here and there. I can't take any more because I've run out of time this very morning. But I'm just so glad that we're starting to see those disruptions, because what I would favorably like everybody to do, INEC has uploaded the results to their civic portal now. Please download the results now, because these results are going to be taken on to be disputed in law courts legally by different parties and different senators. You want to have something to check with what you're saying. So go on and download those results and see what you make of them as the days break forth, okay? It's important that you have those results, and as the debate starts, you have your own evidence from what INEC has said versus what was on the streets to tell. Good morning to you. I'm Femi D. Amelie.
Thanks for calling Bastion
Since I signed up with Bastion HM,